Today we're going to have a look at how we increase or decrease by a percentage and introduce what multipliers are. So let's begin. Now let's start with looking at $3,500 and we want to increase this by 11%. Now to do this we could first start by working out what 11% of $3,500 is and then add it on. There'd be nothing wrong with this, but there is a much quicker way. If we considered $3,500, that starting value, to be the 100% value of what we've got, what we're essentially trying to do is add on an extra 11% to that value. So visually, what we're trying to do is start with the 100% value, that $3,500, and add on an extra 11%. So in essence, we're asking for 111% of what we started with. So to show this, that's the same as starting with 100% and adding an extra 11% to that value, which equals 111%. So now what we know is we need 111% of $3,500. Now in our last video we learned that of simply means times. So we're after 111% multiplied by $3,500. Now this is where what I call a multiplier comes in. We need to represent this percentage as a decimal. So we remember that 111% is the same as 111 over 100 multiplied by our $3,500. However, as a decimal or a multiplier, we move this decimal place 2 spots. So that is equal to 1.11 multiplied by 3,500. Now when we enter that into a calculator, that equals $3,885. So to increase by a percentage, we start with 100%, we add on the percentage we're increasing by. We then look at what is that percentage of that starting value. We get that percentage to its multiplier or to its decimal value, and we multiply these two amounts to get our answer. So that's increasing. What if we decreased? What if we decreased 145 kilograms by 11%? Well, we think about this in the same way. We've got our 100% starting value, which I've represented here. However, instead of adding it on, we're going to take the 11% off. So when we take 11% out of this 100% value, we're left with 89%. To do this by hand, we're starting with 100% and we're subtracting 11%, which equals 89%. So what we now know is we want 89% of 145 kilograms. So that's 89% of 145 kilograms. Of means times. So we're wanting 89% times 145 kilograms. Now 89% is the same as 89 over 100 times 145. As a multiplier, this is equal to 0.89 times 145. And if I now enter this into my calculator, you'll find that you'll get 129.05 kilograms. So a decrease by 11% of 145 kilograms is 129.05 kilograms. So when we're decreasing by a percentage, we start with 100%, but we're going to take off the amount of percentage we're decreasing by, and we're left with the amount of percentage that's remaining. In this case, it was 89%. We then look, what is 89% of that starting value? We get the percentage as a multiplier, which in this case was 0.89, and we multiply these two values together to get our solution. So now we know how to increase or decrease by a percentage. Let's take a look at another couple of situations where we apply this. For example, a hardware store, in order to make a profit, might increase or mark up its tools by 55%. If the store purchased a drill for $120, how much are they going to sell it for after they've marked it up. Now the key new term here is this terminology markup. What it means is we're increasing it by in order to make a profit. So let's take a look at this. We're starting at 100% and we need to increase, so we're adding on an extra 55%. So that will equal 155% of what we started with. So what we're trying to find is what is 155% of $120. Now of means times, so I want to know what is 155% times $120. Now this is the same as 155 over 100 multiplied by 120, which is equal to 1.55 as its multiplier times 120. And when I put that into the calculator, I find that the new sale price is going to be $186. So an increase or a markup of 55% of $120 is $186. So we've learned that markup means we increase by a percentage. How about the terminology discount? What if we're discounting an MP3 player valued at $320 by 15%? Discount means we need to reduce the price by 15%. So what this means is we're starting at 100%, but we're subtracting 15% from the price. So that is equal to 85% of the starting value. So what we're looking for is what is 85% of $320? Okay, so we now know that of means times. So we're looking for 85% times $320. That is equal to 85 over 100 multiplied by 320, which as a multiplier is 0.85 times 320. So when I put this in my calculator, that is equal to $272. What that means is if the store is discounting the MP3 player by 15%, you would pay $272 for that MP3 player. So sometimes we might know the dollar value that something's decreased by, but we want to know what percentage it's decreased by. So in this case, we've got a laptop here that was purchased at $890 and then sold at $545. So we can work out how much it's decreased by as a dollar value by taking the 545 away from 890. So it's 890 subtract 545. Therefore, this has decreased by $345. But what I want to know is what percentage has it decreased by from its original value. To do that, we need to take the decreased amount, which is $345, and divide it by the $890. Now this will give me the fraction that it's discounted by. However, I want to know the percentage that it's discounted by. So I need to multiply a fraction to get it to a percentage by 100. So when I multiply this fraction by 100 to get it to a percentage, I use a calculator and it equals approximately 38.764% to 3 decimal places. However, when a question doesn't ask me how many decimal places to round to, I generally round it to 2 decimal places. So I look at the third decimal place, which is a 4. It is not 5 or greater, so this second decimal place remains as it is. So, therefore, the percentage discount is approximately equal to 38.76%. So if we're given the dollar value that something's increased or decreased by, we can then work out what the percentage decrease or percentage increase is by representing it as a fraction first and converting it to a percentage by multiplying by 100. Now I should note that I've used the terminology percentage discount rather than percentage decrease here. Now discount means subtract, so that's the reason why I did it. However, I should have used percentage decrease. So now it's your turn. Here I've got 5 questions for you. 4 which include increasing or decreasing by a percentage, and the third one here which talks about what is the percentage increase, which is the last thing that we talked about.